Hey everybody, this is Hewitt. We mentioned some things that are kind of uncomfortable about Southern history, especially the state of Louisiana, such as slavery, free people of color versus not free people of color, and the relationships between both Anglo and Creole, and just some societal differences that existed within the state that caused things to be a little bit awkward. We also addressed the religion of voodoo/voodoo. And while we are not experts on it, we are trying to give this the most respect as possible. So please forgive us if we say anything that might be a little off. And I hope you enjoy the episode. Welcome y'all to Backwoods Obscura, a podcast dedicated to the lore, legends, and myths surrounding the creatures that may lurk in your backyard. My name's Hewitt.
I'm Chris.
How's it going, man?
It's going good. Today I spent, or you know what? I should back it up a bit.
Back it up.
Back it up a bit. You're messing with the miniature.
I'm looking at the paint job that I've got going on.
And also, your daughter is like...
She's mad
about something. But for the past couple of weeks, or past few weeks, Ruby has reignited my want to clean up the backyard.
Because she keeps setting it on fire?
Okay. So, Ruby decided that she wanted to start a new fire pit because she thought the one we had was too far away, and she wants to, she wants to make the yard nice and,
She wants to be able to sit around the campfire and enjoy it without necessarily having to walk in through, 30, 40 feet of dog shit.
Yeah. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna start it here. I'm gonna start making the fire pit here. And she didn't go out and buy a fire pit. She didn't do anything like that. She just started a fire in the middle of the yard where there was dead grass. Fortunately, I was, there. As soon as I walked out, I was like, what are you doing, Ruby? She's like, I'm doing a fire pit. I'm like, Ruby, that's gonna make a big fire. And she's like, oh, because as we were talking, it went from about a 3-inch circle to a 3 feet circle. And we immediately got the hose and put it out. It's fine, though. It's not...
See, when you originally sent the post, I am still of the mindset you're being dramatic because you have seen when I was clear cutting the backyard of all the shit that grew up in the trees, how much of my backyard I accidentally caught on fire.
Also, I've seen the way you start fires. Okay, look, my history with fire is not great.
No, it's not.
We're not going to talk about it on the podcast.
It's bad, y'all.
When I was younger, I was a bit of a pyro, and things get out of control. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, we started working on the backyard. We started clearing out all the foliage, not really foliage, all the trees and shit that are in the back. Trying to avoid that one tree that looks like it's going to fall on our yard. The
one we need to pull down so it doesn't kill your dog.
I don't want it to kill my dog, and I don't know how to safely pull it down. Just so people are aware, it is a dead tree that is leaning on another...
He has a deadfall. He has 100% got a deadfall.
And I don't know what to do with it. The wind doesn't knock it down. But I'm pretty sure it's rotten, and it's probably going to fall down eventually.
Well, I mean, also, does your neighbor have kids?
They do.
Little kids? Yeah, we need to take care of what is leaning into your yard.
Because the way it is leaning, it...
Hey, hold on. Hey, Timothy, if you listen to us at all, our good friend that we have not talked to in years, can you send me a message on Facebook about how to safely pull this shit down in his yard?
That would help.
Cannon, I know you occasionally listen to us.
Help us.
Your knowledge is necessary.
But we've been working on the backyard, and today we decided to start, we tilled up part of the yard. We rented a till, and me and Nate did part of his yard, and then I did part of we did part of our yard.
Why did you rent a tiller when I have one?
It was an electric tiller. Nathan doesn't say shit to you.
No.
And I don't mean that in a mean way.
I-
Just
I'm
Nathan
s-
doesn't communicate generally.
I'm sad now. No
But
one loves me.
I actually want to take your
I'm-
killer now because I need to
gonna,
retill.
I'm gonna go away now.
No, don't go away. I love you. No, he's gone. He's gone to Mexico.
They didn't let me in.
But you're like a third Mexican. Why not?
Quarter, but also they said we don't accept anybody from that asshole's country.
Oh. But yeah, we did. I started retilling because we got like a hand tiller. Fuck that.
Oh yeah. I will say this: that you've seen my hand tiller that's got the 4 prongs. I
yeah,
love
that's
that.
what we got.
I love that for my above ground beds. That the worst thing that's in them. Okay, the worst thing in them is fucking fire ants, but the next worst thing in them is grass. I'm not like having to deal with like established roots.
Yeah, that's the problem we're having here. I got like a portion of it done, but we put up a part of a fence that we're doing. We're going to be fencing in, kind of like how your yard used to be fenced in. But we have dogs, and we're doing the opposite of
You
what
just hurt my soul again, Chris. That's 2 times in the same podcast.
I'm sorry. I love Andui. I love Andui and Boo Boo.
Yeah, they're gone now.
I know they're in dog heaven.
Not Boo Boo.
Not Boo Boo. What the fuck?
No, Boo Boo. But both my dogs were good. It wasn't like remember the cats I had for like all of 5 weeks
Lord. Yeah, I remember.
that pissed all over Christmas.
But we decided to start tilling, but we put up part of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Looks really nice, and then I started cutting down some of the trees in the back, and we're
Yeah.
just clearing things out, which gets me to something I was going to actually ask you about next week. If you have any time, if we're not fishing, we're going to be working on the backyard. Could you help us like get rid of some stuff potentially?
Highly depends on if I am available. Like obviously.
Well,
okay, the duh statement that should not have been made by me on the podcast, but no, it highly depends. I don't know what my plans are week to week anymore. Like Mardi Gras happened,
and now it's just up in the air.
now everything's up in the air. I spent too much at Mardi Gras,
Fair.
but
And your dad spent like $40 on a grill because he hated ours.
to be fair,
It was pretty shit. I didn't think you were going to bring that grill, to be fair. I just showed up and the grill was there.
well, I'm not. You think I'm bringing my good grill?
No. Which is, I'm not judging you.
No, I'm just saying is, you know how hard it is to empty that grill? Very.
Yeah.
Any case, it's my dad bought us a grill, and like,
Do you have that grill?
yeah, it's out there by my grill right now. We have 2 grills in my backyard.
I'm going to steal that grill.
No, you're not going to steal that grill. That's my
Oh.
grill. By law and blood, that is my grill. New T-shirt.
Replace my grill. My dollar store grill. I just bought on a whim.
Your Dollar Tree grill. Man, I'm really sad that your old grill we got you rusted out after like 8 years.
The grill that you and Nate got me?
Yeah.
I still use that.
Oh, fucking good. I thought you said it rusted out.
No, it's rusting out now. Like, right now would be about the time I should replace it. It's just I haven't had money to.
That's true, but also, I'll be honest, the grill we got you, if you had the backyard you have now with that very large covered patio, it would last forever.
Yeah. Oh, Ruby did something really cool. She actually semi-fixed our backyard because we have, like, the awning on the back, and it used to leak at the front.
By the house?
Not, like, okay, like, where the roof and that awning meet.
So it started leaking. Yeah, it was leaking right by the house.
Yeah. So she was like, that's weird. And I realized, like, the poles in my backyard, when we bought the house, there was, like, this poles that it looks like they were building a greenhouse or something previously.
Mm-hmm.
They're not cemented in, so you can just pull them right out. So I pulled out most of them.
Yeah.
And then she took one, she cut it down, and then she put it right there to rebend the awning back up. And we tested it today. It works like a dream. No more leakage there.
Oh, that's good. Your backyard's weird because it's like someone rolled up a driveway and left it in your backyard.
Well, the thing is, it's like when we bought the house was previously a rental property. So there's a lot of rental fixes in the house, and there's also all the remnants of the rental fixes in the backyard, which is
a rolled up driveway.
Yeah.
You have
we got the house at a good price, and we also live in a really good neighborhood. We live in a nice working class neighborhood.
You also have 2 good schools.
Yeah. And we live like out of town in West Monroe, which I wanted that.
That's why I am where I am. Yeah. I like my house.
I like your house too. If we would have found a place around here, we would have.
We need to tell Spence there's 2 houses for sale in my neighborhood.
Yeah. But yeah, like we're getting it. Hopefully by summertime, we're going to have it set up with a nice garden. And we're going to have a nice grill spot. You know who else would like a good grill spot?
Well, hold on. Before you go into that really awkward segue. Because she wouldn't.
You don't know that.
I would say this. The better segue would be is you're planting a victory garden for 2025, much like I'm planning a victory garden for the next 4 years.
No, I think we're both planning a victory garden
for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
It's just that who else liked gardens, especially herb gardens?
Yeah, Marie Laveau.
Yeah, there we go.
I see what you're trying to do there. Look,
you know what? We workshopped it. You know what? Let me get my one little asshole line out that I hardly ever get to use. I made it better.
Okay, fuck you, but yeah.
Can you hold on? Can you disagree with me?
No, I can't disagree with you.
Everybody out there in the internet, this is like the one time I've gotten him to agree to that.
So yeah, we're talking about Marie Laveau today. What do you know about Marie Laveau?
Voodoo Queen.
Queen.
Creole.
Yes.
Free woman of color. Had more than one proper establishment. By the way, don't disrespect her shop.
Yeah, don't disrespect her shop.
And you can't mark on her tomb no more.
Yeah, they won't let you do that anymore. But we're getting ahead of it.
No, I'm just saying these are what I know. However, if we ever get to go to New Orleans and do a Backwoods Obscura tour, let's be honest, we're probably going to mix a Backwoods Obscura tour of New Orleans with a brouhaha. We want to do the tour and go see her tomb, and we'll pay our respects. We just can't put a mark on it.
I wish I could.
You know what?
Only because I want to show the world her power. But anyway, Marie Laveau was a voodoo practitioner, midwife, and herbalist born in 1801 in New Orleans. She was apparently born in the French Quarter at the end of Spain's colonial rule over Louisiana. So she was born at the tail end of Spanish colonial Louisiana.
Which, for anybody that's listening at home, I want you to understand how weird Louisiana is before the United States gets a hold of it. So, underneath the French and underneath the Spanish, there was slavery. Louisiana is weird, no matter how you slice it. Even among the deep South states were weird because if you looked at the other states, Texas, and then skip us over Arkansas, Mississippi, all the way back to the coast.
Yeah, to the original 13 colonies.
To the original 13 colonies, skin color determined slavery or not. It determined if you were a slave or not a slave. White people, let's be honest, sometime back in the 1600s, all the white people got together and said white people couldn't be slaves. They did. There was a meeting. I think it was the meeting of Cheddar.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm making shit up on that one, but no, they decided white people couldn't be slaves and that only Africans could be.
You're talking about the sociological or the political creation of whiteness.
Well, it's the concept of whiteness and blackness, and honestly, that's really 1870s. What it is the concept of chattel slavery, because at first it was Christian versus not Christian, and then slaves would go, "Well, I love me some Jesus. Where's my freedom?"
So they just had to keep bringing it back to something.
Well, originally it was like you're non-Europeans. Okay. Non-Europeans can be slaves. Muslims and Africans can be slaves. And then they went, well, maybe not the Muslims. They get mad about it. maybe just Africans because the African slave trade's going on, and then but like no Christians can be slaves, and all of a sudden the slaves start becoming Christians, and they figured out a way around this. Let's go ahead and say the quiet part out loud. White people can't be slaves. Like I tell this to my kids, and when they look at me, that's stupid. I go, because it is.
I mean, slavery in and of itself
is stupid. Well, I mean, I hate to say it this way. When you start looking at what we know as slavery, chattel slavery, race-based slavery in the United States and the Caribbean and Latin American countries, is almost a completely different monster than the status of slavery that existed in Africa, the Middle East, Europe, and Asia at this time, which was slavery was a social death. But someone could buy you out of it. Your children weren't born slaves. You could marry while you were still a slave and your spouse not be a slave.
Right.
Like
and then chattel slavery
and then chattel slavery is you are
an object.
You are an object. You are property. Any children you have are going to be property. And then you get to Louisiana, which was controlled by the French and the Spanish, and one of the largest slave owners in Louisiana was a free person of color. Now, if you ever were to read the description of them, you would say they were white, but they were a Creole born in Haiti, whose mother was a slave and father was a free Frenchman, and then he moved to Louisiana and had one of the largest plantations with slaves. So by today, you would say he was an individual of mixed heritage by the standard then all the way up until... Well, president before this one's first term was born. Okay, so Barack Obama was born and he is considered black because in the 1960s you had to say that you were definitively one ethnicity/race. So let's look at this, that to fully understand American racism and American race relations, the 2 decades before we were born, if you had one black parent, you were black. If you had one black grandparent, you were black. That's why Barack Obama is black. Like, his mother was white, his father was black. You could say today you would say he's a mixed ancestry, but back then, black. So think about this. We're only talking about 20 years before you and I were born, 60-year-old individuals, right?
Right.
So a free person of color in the early 1800s in Louisiana was an anomaly. And the only reason I want to bring that up is because I want everybody to understand how special Marie Laveau actually was. And also the very weird ethnic and moral and social dilemma that is Louisiana history.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I got into it, but yeah, she was a free woman of color and Creole, which... Creole essentially means someone who has Spanish ancestry in Louisiana.
Creole means you were born in the colonies.
Yeah, born in the colonies, or you have ancestry from the colonies.
Now, Creole is mostly used for Spanish. But Creole is generally, like, comparing Creole culture to Cajun culture, which we've gotten into that again. It's more than just adding tomatoes. Creole is the Spanish term for born in the colonies. Cajun are folks who got dislocated by the war of, the 7 Years' War / the French Indian War and got moved to Louisiana.
Yeah, but like I would say the lineage there is like there is a distinction because usually people who are Creole tend to have like a different lineage. Like Cajuns tend to have a very specific French Acadian lineage, whereas Creoles don't necessarily have that.
No, they don't. They were just the ones born in the colonies.
Yeah. So if you look at it this way, a Cajun can be Creole, but a Creole alone is not Cajun.
The big thing also with Creole is, and I think this is something got brought up that got cut out of a podcast, is, and a lot of my students think this, that Creole is of African culture, of African background. And the thing is that much like anything within the Hispanic sphere of anything, is that Hispanic covers multiple ethnic backgrounds. Hispanic is a cultural background, and that's where Creole comes from.
Her lineage is thought to be African, Native American, European, with your mother a freed slave.
With your mother?
With her mother.
You said your mother. I thought you were trying.
You are just trying to make this episode longer.
I'm sorry. I thought you were trying to make your mama joke against me, and I would be like, I agree.
With her mother, I thought I said her mother. With her mother being a freed slave by the name of, and you're gonna love this because it's me trying to pronounce like French and Spanish names. Marguerite de Cantrell. That's probably not right.
Yeah, that's Marguerite de Cantrell.
Okay, I did.
You didn't mess it up.
She was also of that said lineage, and her father is speculated to be one of two men, both by the name of Charles Laveau. One is a white politician who was said to be I say said, but on Wikipedia, he was listed as the mayor of New Orleans at one point. And also another free man of color. Some report that her mother was a mistress of Charles, the free man of color, as being a wealthy plantation owner.
Again, we mentioned that ago. Yeah. Louisiana gets weird like that for
the thing
South.
is, it's like they don't really know who her...
They don't know who the daddy was.
Because her mother gave birth out of wedlock, so...
Well, as you do. We've mentioned that with several of these stories, which, on a side note, this is just me wanting to propose something for American culture. Should we not track the children through the mother instead of the father with the last name at this point? I'm good with that because the Bible.
I'm good with
the Bible also says a man should leave his family and cleave to that of his wife.
Look, me and Ruby have decided to when we change our last names, we're just going to change to one we agree with, not necessarily one that's.
And it's going to be. I know the last name y'all picked. It is Flavor Flav These Nuts, rocking it through 2025.
Hell yeah, dude! Hell yeah! Marie Laveau, if you're listening from beyond the grave, I'm very sorry.
Don't haunt us, please.
Please don't haunt us.
Haunt
you
Chris.
You seem like a very nice person.
Actually, okay, you mentioned that. Legit, everything I've read about her.
Well, here's the thing. Everything you read about her, it's either like she was like this mysterious figure who was wrapped in she was like this shady mystic, or she was like this very kind and loving person who would, give her shoes to. Yeah,
literally would give the shirt off her back. That's everything I've heard about Marie Laveau is positive.
Yeah.
It's not like.
Well, the thing is, I have seen the more shady stuff about her, but I want to get into that later because I think I might know why that is.
Because she's black?
No. It actually is not racist, really.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, okay. To the internet. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, Marie was married twice. Once to a man named Jacques Paris, who reportedly died, though it's unclear if he actually died or if that's what Marie Laveau told people. She was a very proud person, and...
Did she not want to say her husband runned off?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Marie Laveau was a beautiful woman.
I've seen the pictures.
Of all the things people said, and there is a very racist description of her, that she had good features, which in those terms would mean white features.
Were they saying that she looked good for a mulatto? Was that what they were trying to say? Okay, now look, I have seen many pictures of Marie Laveau.
Or paintings and everything. She was very...
Okay, yes. Let's phrase that because they didn't have photography back then. Actually, you know what? They did. Marie Laveau did exist at the same time as photography. Napoleon missed photography by 2 years. So she was around back then, but here's the deal. Every portrait I have seen of Marie Laveau...
She's a beautiful woman.
I don't mean this disrespectfully. She could get it.
But she's a beautiful woman. And as someone who... Not only who is with her beauty and with her, it's also with her stature, within New Orleans culture. You don't want to go around saying "Oh yeah, my husband left me."
Okay, look, as a lady, a Creole lady, a free woman of color, and with what you said that she was a beautiful woman for what she was, as people would say it back then. Like I said. I've seen portraits. Gorgeous. Back then, people were like, she's doing, to quote the Princess Frog, for a woman of your stature, you're doing quite well.
Yeah.
Type situation. Also, as someone that's connected to the social circles, because she was connected to the social circles in New Orleans.
We'll get into
you don't want to say your husband RUNOFFT oft.
Yeah.
And
it's not.
You would say he went back to the plantation and Plaquemines would be like the polite way to put it.
She would actually call herself after he, quote, died. She would refer to herself as the widow of Paris.
Oh, that is a badass. That is Madam had style.
Okay, I'm going to say this now. This is just a general rundown of Marie Laveau. I found multiple books on Marie Laveau at our library. So this might become...
Oh, no, we need to, because she deserves multiple...
Yeah, I would like to read more about her. In fact, I want to start doing, like, actual, like...
Big research, not online.
Big research, not just online. Not that online is bad, necessarily. It's just, we have full-time jobs. He is a teacher.
Hashtag Google Scholar, everybody.
Yeah, we do Google Scholar. We do, we do Ghost City tours. That's a big thing. Wikipedia is a big thing for us. We do this podcast mostly because we enjoy the stuff and we want to kind of record our banter about it. But
it's also an excuse for us to hang out like once every 2 weeks.
We hang out more than once a week, dude.
No, we hang out once a week. We hang out twice a week when we do the podcast. Like this whole last week, I'm sitting there going, I'm lonely. So lonely. Okay. And then the baby slapped me in the face and goes, bitch, I'm here. And I go, oh, wait, yeah, I got you. You want to watch anime? And she goes, hell yeah, I want to watch anime.
Hell yeah. But
on that Baki Hanma.
So yeah, there's speculation that he might have run out on her, and she kind of like kept it on the down low because she didn't want it. She didn't want that smoke, right? The second man she married, and you're gonna. This is gonna be a tongue twister for me. Christophe Dominique de Gapillon.
Let me see this.
It's in blue. It's in blue. So
Christophe Dominique de Glapion. Now I'm going to say this: the French and the Spanish knew how to deal with the Fae. They gave you. There was a secret name in there too. Like his middle name is like Quincy, and nobody knows that shit.
Yeah. But
you know what? That's the only reason. That's the Mormons made it out to Utah, ran into Utah Fae, which I can only imagine are the trailer park of Fae, and that's why they came up with the concept of a super secret name that the priest gives you. To anyone that is a member of the Church of Latter-day Saints, I'm sorry, but I'm not at the same time, y'all.
But this would be the man that she stayed with, both. I think it was what is it called? Lived in, or when you live and be with someone for
common law.
Common law.
They weren't actually church married.
Yeah, so they would be common law married.
Was bro lily white?
You know what? He had a Wikipedia page, and I did not check it like a dumbass.
Well, I'm not. You're not. It's just like if they were common law married, if they were not officially married. Which, look, when we talked about Lalaurie, both Dauphine's daddy and both of his brothers had relationships with individuals that were not ordained by the church. Because remember, her daddy had a daughter with a free woman of color that he left property to, but never fully acknowledged was his. Here at Backwoods Obscura, if you're the father of a child, we highly advise you to acknowledge it, raise it, and love it, because they are your child. And children are the future.
He was a white man.
Noble
French descent.
Well, oh, wait. He was a French noble?
Yes.
What was his title?
Let's see.
Was he a marquis?
Known as Louis Christophe Dominique de Gapillon was I don't know what that word means.
Let me see it. Plaquet was recognized as a extra legal system in French slave colonies of North America. Oh, he was New World noble.
Yeah.
By which ethnic European men entered into civil unions with non-European, African, native, and mixed ancestry. That's not a noble title. That is that he was a dude that hooked up with a not white lady. That's, there you go.
Oh, my God.
You left me your good phone. My phone's not good. I'm going to now play games on it.
I ain't got no games except Final Fantasy 3 and 4 on here.
4's good.
Both are good.
I've never gotten to beat 3. Is the only Final Fantasy I've never beat.
You beat 2?
I have beat 2.
How? Like,
no lie, I fucking love 2. You know how I beat the game? I spent 30 hours letting shit hit me until I had max HP.
Okay. I'm sorry, Marie Laveau. We're getting off topic here.
Anyway, no, the plaqué means that he was a Frenchman of high standing that married a woman of mixed ancestry, native ancestry, or of African descent. So he was basically, the plaqué was the participation trophy that you and Jed would get.
That's cool. I'm fine with that.
With no racist.
I don't know if there's any way for that not to be racist.
I'm trying to say me. Like the title and everything is. I'm trying to say that Hewitt in this year of the Lord 2025.
You would not get it, but okay.
Oh god damn, Chris, over here. Our
because,
Lord.
I mean,
Starscream did not die for your sins to insult me this way.
Fuck off. So she would be with him until his death in 1855.
Wow.
And that would be the only other person she would marry until her death in 1881.
Okay, so let's throw this out there. You don't stop and think about Marie Laveau and Jean Lafitte, one being in the same time period and active, doing their own bullshit.
For the most part, like Jean Lafitte was
a little bit earlier, but he would have still been around. I mean, it's like the joke of a Meiji-Eri samurai, a cowboy that is a Union soldier after the war, an old French pirate, all being a D&D party.
That would be the best D&D party.
Oh no, I you know how bad I want to do an alternative like steampunk D&D game.
We need to do that. Okay, so let's get back into this. Between the two men, she is reported to have 17 children.
Goddamn, girl.
2 with Jacques, which apparently disappeared around the time
he took them.
Yeah, but here's the thing: there's no records of those 2 children, so they're there.
My ex-husband stole my babies.
Or, you know...
Yeah, I get it.
It might be like history muddling things. And the rest with Christophe. But there's only 7 children.
Christophe, back the fuck off.
Well, okay, they apparently had 15 children over the course of 20 years when they met.
So she spent the majority of 20 years pregnant.
Yeah. But there's only record for 7 of them, which is still a lot. My wife has 6 siblings. So
yeah. My father's one of 7.
Yeah.
My Aunt Melba is 13 months. Or sorry, hold on. Melba's birthday is February 11th. My father's birthday is February 13th.
So your grandparents had a schedule.
My Aunt Brenda's birthday was March 5th.
Schedule.
My Aunt Lori's birthday is May 1st.
Okay, she was off schedule.
No. Don't. Okay, one, don't call them my grandparents. I have a grandmother and I have JB.
Okay.
Okay, that's personally on me, and I'm not going into my family dynamic here, but no. My father's mother, who I never met, died at 28. She had 7 kids and got married at 19. So, when you tell me she might have had 15 kids in 20 years, Christophe, get off. Let the woman walk normal for
Okay.
more than 6 months because she's not carrying a freaking passenger. Fucking hell.
Okay. Again,
Alleged. But not just...
the records only have 7 kids.
Okay, 7 kids scattered over 20 years?
Still a lot, but not as much as...
Okay,
15.
that means there's at least more than 2 years between them.
So, here's the thing.
Minus, like, Pierre, who might be the lucky one at the end that was a surprise.
And again, Christophe was rich. He was a noble. So, they were able to take care of the kids, although 3 did die of the ones that were recorded.
Well, I mean, okay, listen, we're talking the 1800s. We're talking...
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You're talking about the 1800s.
You
Okay, the fact that she would be able to survive 7 births.
Fucking hell, right?
Yeah.
9 if you count the 2 from her husband.
And
fucking 15 if you count all. 17 if you count all. Ooh,
that's a lot. Like, she was like a fucking...
Ow.
That woman...
Ow.
She
boss.
Boss lady right there. But one of the kids would be Marie Laveau II, which we'll get to later. Marie Laveau, again...
Why does, like, not junior, but, like, the second make it sound cooler?
Well, I think she originally took the name of her father, which would be Glapion. But she changed it to Marie Laveau II so she could have a association. But again...
I'm just saying, no, like, if you had, like, the second versus junior sounds so much cooler.
The second sounds... like, that might just also be, like... Junior is a very masculine...
I'm going to say this. Junior is actually a derogatory term in a lot of cases. Because senior... Like, James Senior versus James Junior.
But the thing is, it's like... You often see junior related to men.
Right. You're right. I found this out. Fun fact, my father is technically not a junior. Because my mother misspelled Burl.
Oh, that's fun. We're getting into now the voodoo queen, that is...
Marie Laveau. The Marie Laveau we all know.
Now, there's different stories, and this is one thing I want to get into. Because there are historians and people that have looked this up, and I've seen them, and I want to go read about it in the actual library, like a decent individual.
Not like the heathens that go to the internet for their knowledge.
Yeah, not like these fucking idiots that just... I'm looking things up. Wikipedia. Okay, Wikipedia is fine.
For sources.
But, like, if you want to get in depth with something, you want to go into an actual one. But there are a lot of stories about how she came to practice voodoo. One story has it that she learned from the famous Dr. John, or Bayou John, the king of voodoo in Louisiana.
Bayou John?
Is a fucking nice name.
Oh, no, that's a nice name. We need an NPC that's Bayou John.
Yeah. Other sources say that she learned from other voodoo queens. Senente Dide and Marie God damn. Fuck.
Are you handing me this? Hand me this.
These 2 names right here. Help me out. They're down at the bottom.
Marie Salope and Senete Didi.
Yeah, so those 2 were previous voodoo queens. That one usurped the other, but apparently either one or the other taught her. Or she got taught by Bayou Jean.
Here's the deal is, I accept all these individuals because when you hear those names, I assume they know voodoo. It's not like Bloody Mary Okay. Anyone that's listening, I'm not trying to start shit with a very fine woman that runs multiple establishments within the city of New Orleans. However, when your name is Bloody Mary, the voodoo queen of New Orleans, and you're whiter than me, I have an issue because I expect a voodoo queen to look like she came out of the swamp and the swamp said, yeah, she's in charge of us. I'm sorry. It's kind of like when all of a sudden the pork pie hat, sideburn fucking hipster whose parents bought a post-Katrina French Quarter shotgun house, and he's living there because, well, shit, mom and dad are going to let my 35-year-old ass live there, though I've not done anything. I'm going to now do tarot reading in the middle of Jackson Square. I'm going to the woman that looks like that the earth was built around her and she was here before it and knows everything, versus you and your hipster ass sitting there next to the dude drawing caricatures. I'm going to the woman who could lie to me through her teeth. I will still believe her over you with her magic because she looks like the earth was built around her because she was here before someone spoke, "Let there be light." Sorry.
But regardless, she was able to rise to the moniker of Voodoo Queen in a relatively short time. Some of the services she had was spiritual consultant. She was a spiritual leader in New Orleans. A fortune teller. Of course, fortune telling, I think, is like a big thing, not only in just like voodoo spirituality, but just like in general.
It is, but also, if you say voodoo, how many people are going to come to you and view you the same as a Romany?
Yeah.
And say, true. Can you tell me your future? You know the mystic arts. Tell me the future.
Yeah, Romani. But the thing is, it's, what is the word? Syncretic?
Yes. Syncretionism. So it is syncretic.
So, voodoo absorbs a lot of different...
Well, voodoo is a lot of West African religions plus Catholicism. Yeah. We talked about that when we talked about the Laveau.
Right. And, like, I would see, like, fortune telling, especially with, like, cards, like tarot cards, would kind of get absorbed with that because it's a mainly European thing with the Romani people. Or, like, Southeast European,
well, the ability to tell the future plus the idea of the tarot.
Yeah. It
plus
just lends itself.
Everything about voodoo. Okay, let's be honest. Let's step back from this before we take too deep of a delve with some of it. Is that let's look at what voodoo was. Voodoo was other. Voodoo was a religion of the slaves. Voodoo was a religion
of the
marginalized and the free people of color. It was, if white people wanted a safe black magic or magic with a K experience,
they go to the voodoo.
They go to the voodoo because voodoo is not Satanism, but it's other, it's different. It's from the dark continent. It's from the other people.
Right.
And therefore there is, and it still exists today, there's a tourist aspect to voodoo. Yeah. Because it's like,
well, that's getting into like the Marie Laveau voodoo house.
Right. It is. Okay, I'm going to say something that we might regret later. It is.
Don't get us canceled, Hewitt.
It is the Disney of occult.
I wouldn't say that.
No. I'm saying itself. I'm saying voodoo is because there's the reason that voodoo and hoodoo exist is because people are trying to get away from voodoo because voodoo is now associated with something different.
Yeah.
Hoodoo and voodoo go a different way with it. What I'm saying is what we consider voodoo is the safe, touristy, there's a doll, there's Loa. It's weird.
A haunted house.
It is
like spirituality.
It is. It's one of those like, if you don't, it is getting the dino bits instead of the cocoa pebbles of the occult. And I that's probably still wrong, and somebody might get upset at me. What I'm saying is that what we're talking about and what the people went to Marie Laveau for initially, and what people still go to people for in New Orleans today, is a ride. Right. It is an experience. Yeah. Like, okay, let's be honest. If you and I were to go somewhere and get a tarot card reading in New Orleans, would we love it?
It'd be fun, but it would be meaningless.
But for us, it would be. So it's not the actual religious aspect of it. I'm not, okay, I know we've derailed here just a little bit. What I'm trying to say is that what you're saying and what we've looked at with some of this is Marie Laveau 100% knows how to play some people who are coming to her for an experience, but she also knows how to help the people that need actual help.
Now, again, with the services, we went over spiritual consultation, which we were talking about, fortune telling, once again, spells, potions, and herbal remedies, protection and curse removal, as well as ceremonies. She actually did ceremonies in, I believe it's New Orleans, like Congo Hall.
Congo Square?
Congo Square.
Congo Square was the former slave cells.
Yeah, but
section.
it was also where, like, free people of color...
It's now in the neighborhood of Tremé.
Yeah, and she would organize places there to, like, hold ceremonies to, like, you know, just as a means of celebration or what have you. But as her reputation grew as a voodoo priestess, she became a powerful figure within New Orleans politics, with the wealthiest people coming to her for help and guidance. This didn't stop her from helping the poor and marginalized, however, because
she's a good person.
She's always been like an advocate for her community. Some of the things that I found, this is a truncated list. I could go through.
Well, let's be honest. You've already said it once during this recording. Is that talking about Marie Laveau?
There's a lot you could say.
There is so much we could do. There's so much we can say, and it can be extended so much further.
One of the things I like reading about her is she apparently had a snake that would wrap around her neck. That would be around her in ceremonies. Its name was Zombie, spelled Zombri, which was said to be a sacred animal imbued with the spirits, or perhaps the spirit of the Loa Dembala.
Oh, Dembala is connected to white snakes.
Yeah. And like, if you go to the Wikipedia page, it when you look up zombie, it goes to Dambala. So Dambala is associated.
Well, I mean,
or zombie is associated with.
Well, like our concept of the zombie versus what an actual zombie is. Like that's episode 0. Is like we talked about that. Like the concept of a zombie that we know, undead, getting up and walking around, is more of a ghoul than it is
like what
a zombie actually is.
And she would dance with this snake to bless people. Like, so in these ceremonies, she would be dancing with the snake to imbue people with spirits that would eventually help them.
The snake was either so super down or so confused.
Probably a little bit of both. But she had...
Hashtag zombie power.
Zombie power. She had gotten a wealthy son out of either a rape or murder charge by using hot peppers. Now, this is a specific ritual in which she would take hot peppers. Like, I forget which pepper I read. I tried looking it up again, but I couldn't find it. But she would cut the peppers up, put them in her mouth, not swallow them, keep them there for hours, because what she is trying to do is draw the spirits to her. And then I believe because I am not a practitioner of voodoo, that she would try to hurt herself to gain the pity of the spirits, because if she gained the pity of the spirits, she would be able to ask something of them, and their pity would allow them to give them.
Mm-hmm.
So she would spend hours in pain trying to, gain the pity of the spirits, and then eventually the next day, or not eventually the next day, but the next day she would put the peppers under the seat of the judge. And she was said to have this person.
I've heard. I know the story you're talking about is that she used the hot peppers, put them under the seat of the judge, and it reversed his decision in the case that was being filed against her
or against him.
Because the man had
the
man had his
son was accused of either murder or rape, and it was apparently a very open and shut case.
Actually,
But
this is
she did this, and she was able to.
This actually connects back to the story of the Grunch just slightly, because there's a version of the Grunch story that involves the Peppers too.
True, and we're getting to the Grunch story, but not necessarily with Pepper. Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. If I remember out the Grunch, there was Devil Baby.
There is a devil baby.
To fix the Devil Baby had to be castrated.
Devil baby had to be castrated, but
And
there's also
there were two Grunches that came out, one male, one female, and I'm sorry, I'm not 100% sure how a female comes out of a nut. Wait, I have a daughter.
I know you tried to do that joke again, but we are sitting here.
Okay. For the gentle listener, we lost 45 to 65 minutes of us talking about Marie Laveau because we both forgot to hit record on the computer.
So
anyway, the Grunch.
We were talking about the Grunch. So the Grunch in the original story, if you go listen to our podcast of the Grunch, so it is also said that she either tamed or created the Grunch, depending on the story. I don't know how true that is. Doesn't matter.
Considering the Grunch ain't real.
Yeah. But do you want to learn about the tomb?
Ooh, wait, hold on. Are you talking about the place you're supposed to put 3 X's on, do a spin, and make a wish?
Yes.
And then come back and leave an offering if she gave you the winning lotto numbers.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Like, she died in 1881 at the age of 79, and she died peacefully in her sleep.
God
with
damn
a smile on her face.
If we could all get that. Dude, I'm going to die in a classroom.
I feel like I'm just going to die in a ditch somewhere.
Well, you'll be lucky to afford a ditch with this current administration.
I know, right? But she is said to be interred in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 at the Glapion family crypts, though there is some belief that she's either buried in an unmarked grave or even in St. Louis Cemetery No. 2.
Now, to be fair, with her being a free woman of color in the time period that she was, there's a chance either one of those are true. However, I'm going to say this. I really, really hope they're not.
Now, here's the thing, too. There's also a legend that her tomb moves around.
That I don't give much credence to. I'm sorry, I don't.
But if you're talking about, like, oh, we can't find her grave, it does kind of make sense. She's like, "Ooh, I'm here."
Yeah, to be fair, also, like, I've been outside multiple necropolises in New Orleans.
They're very confusing, yeah.
There's no street signs, and also, look, I'm 6 footish. If there's a bunch of 10-foot graves everywhere, and I'm walking down, it's gonna be like walking through fucking Walmart. I hate to say it that way because it sounds sacrilegious and disrespectful, but if you're walking through a necropolis and they built it on a grid system, which most of them, are not built on a grid system. They're built higgledy-piggledy.
They're like, this is a grave. This is also a grave.
What was this? Did we turn right at Richards or Ricard's?
Hey, this is Boudreaux.
Is it spelled like we think it should be spelled, or is it spelled like people from Massachusetts would spell it? Or is it spelled like someone from fucking Kansas would spell it? Oh, wait, that's Nicolas Cage's grave.
Is this supposed to be like the original French spelling?
The original French Boudreaux's grave. You know what? New haunted house idea. The original French Boudreaux's grave. We could sell that to every fucking fair.
Yeah, fuck. I mean, come on. Like, we travel across the country with the original French Boudreaux. They're like, oh, these guys are from Louisiana, and it's a Boudreaux grave?
As everybody leaves, just throw fucking a tiny can. Like, I gotta send it to you. My wife found that this one guy is making keychain size carry-ons of spices. And, like, one of them was Tony Chachere's. Like, as you leave the haunted house, we just throw you that tiny keychain Tony's.
God, I mean, it's like, fucking, oh, you're from Minnesota? Here's some real spices, bitch.
They just die immediately because they have 1d4 spice damage.
Tim Walz. I love that man.
Hey, Timmy. Run for president, please. God damn it.
Probably going to. There are some that believe that Marie Laveau can grant services, as you said, to people who come to her grave.
You gotta leave her an offering, though, right?
Yeah. Okay, so the general consensus is that you leave 3 X's. You can leave her an offering, but you have to do the 3 X's, turn around 3 times, focusing on your wish, and you either knock on the grave or speak your wish aloud. So you would... Okay, so after you would do everything, if your wish was granted, you would go to the grave and you would mark it with the circle. You would go to where you did the 3 X's and mark it with the circle. I'm not clear if it's like now you put the offering or like when you did the X's initially you put the offering. Which, by the way, the offering is either cigars, rum, coins. Who does that sound like?
Loa.
Oh, my boy's Loa.
Everybody but Dambala, because Dambala don't drink. My thing is that everything I looked up, because I'll be honest, I almost stole this one from you. Marie, you leave the offering after she gave you the gift.
Yeah. So what you would do, you would leave the offering, or if you didn't leave the offering, you would circle it, because you want to, one, show her gratitude. If you circle it, it's like you're acknowledging that she did the thing for you.
Yes.
And 2, you're acknowledging to everyone else looking at those 3 X's now circled that Our Lady, the Voodoo Queen, forever and eternal, granted you this gift. So Marie Laveau did this for you.
Now, my big thing, everything I researched was with Marie Laveau is you left it afterwards. Also, fun fact, she likes thin versus thick cigars.
You can see that. I mean, thin cigars, I think they...
Not to bring my anime nerd into this, the way they describe the cigars were the ones like Sir Integra Helsing smoked in the Helsing anime.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
So here's my thing is, I am 100% down now for like a RPG / D&D game where it is Marie Laveau smoking cigarillos, drinking rum, and commanding a team of vampire hunters to clear the city of New Orleans.
Okay, the haunting of Marie Laveau. So she is also said to be haunting the cemetery, roaming around, appearing and disappearing. Assumed to be her, this apparition is known as the woman in the turban. Now,
that feels a little racist.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that term.
Because, like, okay, let's break it down.
Like, wrapping your hair in a cloth is a very universal thing. It's not just a turban.
Well, my wife, and you've seen my wife.
I wrap my hair in a...
Look, my wife is Irish, Polish, and German by ethnicity.
I'm just Irish, and I wrap my hair.
My wife is as white people Europe as you can get. And she has a bonnet. You have a bonnet. Your wife Ruby has a bonnet. Amaris has a bonnet. Jed,
he don't have no hair.
You know what? Jed has a bonnet, but it's just out of solidarity.
Yeah, no, I mean he has a do-rag, but he does it out of like irony.
I threw him the do-rag. His most recent do-rag is one I caught at Mardi Gras and threw at him because he had a bald head.
Okay, so turban is a very specific term, which is why I feel kind of weird saying a woman with a turban, because turban usually has a connotation.
It's a little cringy. It's a little crunchy.
Yeah, so she is said to be seen in Cemetery Number 1, but she is also seen because she operated a lot on Bourbon Street. She is said to be seen on Bourbon Street. I don't know how. There's a lot of people that drink and be merry on Bourbon Street. So, putting it lightly. But yeah.
Look, to be fair, if she's a good businesswoman that wants people to come into her tourist shop.
Like every now and then there's like someone that's like passing out on Bourbon Street and she's just like, okay, I'm going to turn you over so you
Hey,
don't
hey, baby,
asphyxiate on your own vomit, my
hey,
man.
baby, I'm gonna roll you this way. That way you don't vomit and choke on it. By the way, if you go about 4 blocks back down that way, you're gonna find my shop, and you're gonna want to spend $55.
But I'm just going to go on a little tangent here. Her daughter, Marie Laveau II, which that's not her original name. She was apparently named her
What was her father's last name again?
Glapion.
So she was Marie Glapion.
Yeah, but she took on the name Marie Laveau II. It was said to take up the mantle after her death. Though, despite...
I can... You know what? No hate.
I think...
I see it.
Like, here's the thing. Like, I think that, like, politically she had clout because she was... And I'm not, like, trying to, like, steal anything from her because I haven't read too much about her. But everything I read from her, she was just, like, kind of taking that as an opportunity to get ahead. Which, you know...
Look, if you got a famous mama...
Yeah, if you got a famous mama, you're gonna do you. But
I mean, like, I'm really expecting here sometime in the next couple of years to have Dolly Part 2.
Yeah, but Marie Laveau II did not have the same rapport she had that her mother had, and she was more callous. She was more like intimidating in a different way, more just like straightforward.
It wasn't like I have power, I'm scary.
Yeah, she was just like, I'm gonna get what I want. Fuck you. You're gonna get burned if you don't give me what I need.
Fuck, it was that bad? Like,
at least from what I've read, and I want to read more about her because this is an episode. This is something I want to do an episode.
That's an episode. Marie Laveau Part 2. Marie Laveau 2 Part 2.
Yeah. So, one of the main things I did read about her is she apparently had a brothel in the middle of New Orleans, which the cops did not fuck with because they didn't want to.
Okay, let's break that. Let's break that entire statement down. 1, in New Orleans.
2, it's a brothel.
2, it's Marie Laveau's daughter. 3, hoochies.
So they were
4, the cops. 5, cops love hoochies.
But the thing is, also, this place apparently served wealthy individuals, and
that's the bigger point right there. The clientele, my man. Why don't we have certain people in jail right now? They're standing.
Right. Apparently, the girls would also serve the men by dancing naked in a ballroom for them. I don't know if it was just men, by the way. I'm not gonna.
Oh, okay. Let's be honest. Let's remove ourselves from our 1925 or 2025. Not 1925. 1925 would have been all about this. 1925 would have put my night, not my wife, but my night. Let's remove our 2025 standards here. Let's say that the daughter of Marie Laveau is the madam of a very large brothel, and there is a ballroom with naked dancing girls in it. How many gentlemen between the ages of adulthood and damn well shouldn't be there are going to come through the doors?
True. Here's the thing. It's like, I haven't read too much about this, so I don't want to say too much about it. But everything I read about Marie Laveau II is she's just like one of those... Fuck you! I'm gonna get mine. Do not fuck with me.
Is she kind of like the Walt Disney-esque of New Orleans? And they're like, this is the experience you want. This is experience I'm going to give you. This is experience to a quality that I'm fine giving you. And if you start complaining, you can get the fuck out.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it.
Goddamn.
But to get onto another thing, we can talk about her in more detail later.
To be continued.
Did Marie Laveau practice voodoo? Yes. I think she was an actual voodoo practitioner.
You know what? I am 100% behind you on this. I 110% believe that Marie Laveau was an actual practitioner of voodoo/voodoo.
And here's the thing. like, there's obviously a portion of her work that was her building political and social power. Now, as you said, she was a hairdresser. She was a midwife. She was a nurse.
She did. You know what? Let's go ahead and throw out an 1800s term here. She was a barber.
She was not only a spiritual leader, but she was essentially someone that you would come to for guidance. Generally, if you needed spiritual or physical healing, and being all the jobs she did, she managed to hear secrets and like build connections that no one else would be able to, which would allow her to become an entrepreneur and a social advocate for the town of New Orleans.
You know what? I'm going to say this. Marie Laveau was a woman that wore all the hats. Didn't wear many hats. She wore all the hats. She wore the
best hats.
She didn't wear just the best. She wore all the hats because she was the gap, the bridge gap for poor women of color. Enslaved.
She was actually said to have even given advice to like runaway slaves.
But I'm saying
to try and make sure they can, you know.
Well, she okay, let's be honest. Did Marie Laveau know what the time and what she was about?
Yeah. No,
100%.
she was acutely aware. She was a very educated woman. She was a very knowledgeable woman.
About everything.
Like, this is the type of person, like, okay, there are some people that are like, oh, she only did, like, the voodoo shit for, like...
This was a smart woman.
No, I think that she, like she was a voodoo queen in the actual sense, but that was just a part of how she expressed herself and a part of how she helped build political power and how she was able to return things to like
she used the affluence that she was granted by her marriages and status to aid those that were not as afforded as her, as well as also granted services to those that were afforded more.
Right. Like, again, she helped a wealthy family, a wealthy man, out of a rape or murder charge, and he could have, like, apparently it was a cut and dry case, and she helped him out. But that could have worked in her favor in the long run. But yeah. So that's, yeah. Like, I want to do more Marie Laveau because I really want to get into it. I was reading a lot about her online before I actually formed. I'm going to say this now. I was reading about her for about a month, and then, like, today I just splurged all the notes.
Never say that again, ever.
And then...
That's like saying you jambalammed.
I jambalammed all the notes.
In a pan.
And one day. And then, like, before that, I was actually going to the library looking up books and everything.
You know what would be a fun thing for us to do one of our off weeks?
What's that?
Go to the library together.
That would be fun. But my sources for now are, for Marie Laveau, it is Wikipedia, Ghost City Tours, Britannica, Occult Encyclopedia, and then Backwoods Obscura, Marie Laveau's Tomb, and New Orleans Ghost, Marie Laveau, the Voodoo Queen. This is Backwoods Obscura.
Well, hold on before you do the sign off.
What?
We need to evaluate this. We have fallen upon my listening to our stuff about actually evaluating what we talk about.
Okay. What are we evaluating here?
Marie Laveau is 100% real and she knows voodoo magic.
Yeah, I mean, Marie Laveau is a recorded person that did exist and probably has a grave somewhere in New Orleans.
She 100% knows what Damballa and...
She had a snake named Zombie, allegedly.
She did. However, here's the thing. She knows what Legbud, Damballa, and all the Barons sound like.
Potentially, but...
And the answer is Idris Elba.
It's all just Idris Elba. Idris Elba is the incarnation of the voodoo religion.
With no shirt. I don't know how you interpret
You
that
go
sound.
to the crossroads, and then you're like, "Hey, can someone help me with this guitar?" And then it's just Idris Elba, shirtless with a fucking wide brim hat, like, "Yeah, man, what's up?
We're gonna
Yeah.
cancel.
We're gonna cancel your shitty guitar playing." And then he just plays a good fucking blues.
He just hits a riff,
and
and
goddamn,
and now you're gay for Idris Elba.
we are Backwoods Obscura. We release every Tuesday. Sometimes we're on social media, and I promise we're not as cringe as we are now. But sometimes
We're a Team Bonus Action, a charity live play tabletop RPG video game group. Right now, we are not currently partnered because most of our charity clerics are caught up with real life because goddamn 2025 has been real. But if you can donate, you can donate to the ACLU or the Trevor Project or St. Jude's. All of these are charities we highly support that you give money to because, one, civil rights are rights for everyone, and children should never have to worry about being sick, and parents should never have to worry about paying for the children's medical bill versus paying their rent. So if you can pay it forward, we would greatly appreciate it. We understand if you can't because, again, like we said a second ago, 2025 is...
2025.
2025. Please, future Chris, fix this. 2025 has been a real year for a lot of people, and we understand. But if you can help defeat childhood cancer, or you can help children not be homeless because of shitty parents, or you can help fight for people's civil rights, we would really appreciate it and love you in the future for it, as well as Mothman will give you a hug.
Mothman will give you a hug. And with that, I hope you have a good day or night or whatever time it was there.
Have a good one. Drive safe. Jog safe. If you're skiing, be safe. If you're on a jet ski, we're jealous and we love you and enjoy.